Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this cute sloth applique pattern. Here's how to make it. Okay, this is the video showing how to assemble the sloth if you are using a light box. So first let me show you my light box setup. I have got my light box on the bottom. It's on and the brightness is as high as it'll go. Then I have a tempered glass cutting board. This is completely optional. I have it because my ironing area is quite a distance from where I record videos, and this allows me to iron right on the light box, which you normally would not be able to do, but the tempered glass is heat safe, so I can do that. Then I've got my placement guide, and I have a clear silicone mat over top of that. And I've got all of my pieces cut and prepped and just about ready to go. So here's what that means. I've got my pieces. I print them out onto Heat and Bond Light. That is the fusible, paper-backed fusible adhesive that I use for all of my quilts. You can also print it onto regular paper and then trace it onto Heat and Bond Light that you can buy by the yard, which is a little bit less expensive, but I'm super lazy and I really, really hate to trace. So I print mine out. Roughly cut around each piece, just leave a little bit extra all the way around, and then fuse it to the back side of your fabric. Then you do a nice clean cut on the solid lines. So all of these dotted lines in here are placement guides. You can ignore them because you are using a light box to guide your placement. These are just there for people who are not using a light box. But there are some solid lines within the piece that you are going to want to transfer to the fabric side before you peel this paper backing off. One is the smile, and the other is the optional eyelashes if you choose to use those. And I am going to use them on this one. So I'm going to just take a fine tip Sharpie. It's okay that this is a permanent pen. I'm going to stitch over these markings with black thread. So it does not matter that they are going to be still there, hidden underneath the stitching. So I just am letting the light box shine through, and it would actually shine through even better if I didn't have that piece of paper under there, but this works. And then I'm also going to have some lashes that are showing up here, but I'm going to not worry about transferring these. I'll be able to connect to those just fine. But you can transfer onto all of the eyelash pieces if you want to. All right, then we're ready to go, and we're ready to assemble. So we are going to start with piece number 1 because the numbers tell us both what piece is what and also in what order we're going to lay them down. So we're going to start with this one and just lay it down right where it's marked. Then piece number 2 is the face. And we're going to lay that, you can see that line through here. We're going to line the face up with that line. All right, then 3 and 4 are the eye patches. And if you decided to trace the eyelashes on here, you would want to make sure that you're getting those lashes lined up. That's actually more important than any of these other lines. You want to have those lashes be nice, continuous lines, especially since it is a permanent marker. All right, and now we have the eyes and the nose. So the eyes are the same. It doesn't really matter which one goes on which side, but you want to, it can be hard to see through it, especially as you get multiple layers up, if any of them are dark. But if you just touch it down so that all the layers are making contact, you can see those lines much better through there. And if you were working with really dark fabrics, you actually could fuse this in layers. So you could fuse the eyes to the eye patches, peel those up, and then fuse those to the face, peel that up, and then fuse that to the backing. So you can always do it in bits and pieces, just whatever it takes to be able to see through the layers. But usually you can see through multiple layers with no problem. It's just if you're using very dark fabrics that it can be an issue. So the last piece here is the nose. And I'm just going to shift that down a little bit. Okay, now, because I have the tempered glass there, I'm going to fuse right here on my light box. And I just do a quick fuse here. You really are just kind of tacking the pieces together. That is not, that just 5 or 6 seconds that I did there is not enough for a solid hold, but it is enough to hold the pieces together. Basically, you just want to fuse these pieces to each other. All right, now we're going to peel that off, and now we have an iron-on. And here is the block that I'm going to attach it to. So I'm going to do the quilted stripes. I've already quilted this block, and I'm going to quilt them going sideways so that it contrasts with the up and down stripes on the fabric that I chose for his body. And I have done this, I've designed this to be what I call snapshot style. So I want it to look like I snapped a photo of this sloth and just zoomed in on its face. So he has a body, it's just cropped out of the photo. And to get that look, I am lining up the straight edge at the bottom with the straight edge at the bottom of the block, so that when I sew my blocks all together, that's going to be buried in the seam allowance, that cut edge, and so you'll have the illusion of a cropped face like that. And now I'm just going to do a real fuse, so I'll fast forward through this. All right, so now we have everything fused in place. I'm going to take this over to my ironing board, to my sewing machine, and I'm going to do all of the outline stitching, and then I will bring it back here and show you the finished block and also 2 other colors that I did. All right, here is one of my finished sloth blocks, all outlined, and I added a couple of catch lights to the eyes. I just like to use a dot of fabric paint for that. It really brings them to life, but I do have a post that shows you a couple of different ways you can do it if you don't want to use fabric paint. But here are a couple more versions I have in different colors. So here is a silly sloth in kind of realistic shades of brown on a bright red background. And then I did one more very different looking sloth. This one is all in shades of gray. I'm actually going to use this one. I'm going to add a little party hat to him to show what the hat's pattern, what kinds of blocks you can make with the hat's pattern. So here he is, though, just plain shades of gray. So all cute, all very silly, all very happy smiles. And that is the sloth's pattern that is available at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.